Good morning, all of you. Today we are doing practical number 7, which is the repetitive structures in Python. You can remember the practical number 6 was selection structures. So okay, repetitive structures in Python. So selection structures is one of the common structure that we have to learn in any programming language. Similarly, the repetitive structure is also very common. Repetitive structure is also very common structure available in most of the programming languages, all of the programming languages. Okay. Repetitive structures used to. Shall we fill the blanks and go ahead? Repetitive structures used to. The name says repeat. Repetitive structures used to repeat. Repetitive structures used to repeat a set of commands. By using a repetitive structure, it is possible to repeat. By using selection structure, you can remember it is possible to select. No? Repetitive structures used for repetitions. The repetitive structures used in Python are one of the repetitive structures for statement. Other statement is while statement. There are two repetitive structures in Python. One is the for statement, other one in the while statement. You can remember selection structures, if else, and if ladder. Likewise, there are two repetitive structures, for statement and while statement. Okay. So next, what you have to do is you have to try these commands. No, you have to try these commands. Yes. All of you. The first one is for. You have to start with for. For is a keyword. Now listen, right, and look at the screen. For is a keyword. For, then you have to put any variable, for example, x in range. In range, here I have put 5. Then you have to put a colon. In if statement also, you can remember you have to put a colon. Colon එකක් තියන්න ඕනේ. Colon එකක් තියලා. Then you have to, once you entered, right, automatically there will be a tab. No, then you have to enter your command. In this case, the command is hello world. Hello world. Okay, hello world. When I enter, the statement is run, right? Hello world. You can see that the hello world is run. Print hello world is repeated 5 times. Print hello world is repeated 5 times. That is what is happened. So I will use the edit Python module, new file, and use a new file because it is easy to use a new file. In a new file, then we can edit the code and use again and again. No? Okay, you have to start with the keyword for x in range 5, print hello world. Okay, when we run this, some name, okay, you can see that the output is hello world is printed, output is hello world 5 times. That means it is same as running this command. If you want to print hello world 5 times, you have to put that command again and again, no? Right? So normally the repeating is a common thing in day-to-day life and computer algorithms. If you want to repeat something, what you can do is you can use the uh, for statement. For, you have to put any variable here. Variable in is also keyword. Then range is another function. If you want to repeat it 15 times, just put 15. Okay, then the hello world is printed 15 times. That is there's a tab here, no? You can see that there's a tab, no? The tab is used to identify the repeating block. Okay, in the exercise 1, that is what you have to do. Then you can write down the output. Output is just 5 lines of hello world. 5 lines of hello world. Okay, there are some blanks also. We will then it is a little bit changed, no? The code is little bit changed in order to see what happened to the variable x. Here I'm going to print x as well as I'm going to print x as well as hello world. So when I run this, you can see that the value of x is also printed. Value of x is also printed. The first value for x is x is a variable. X is a variable. So first value is 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have put 5, but it is variable starting from 0, 0 to 4, 0 to less than 5, totally 5 times, right? Totally 5 times. Let's say if you want to print something else, you can put, if you want to put line numbers, let's say starting from 1 to 1 to 5, then you can put 1 plus 5. Normally in computers, you can remember indices that we discussed last time. Variable x starting from 0. Okay, මෙතන output එකත් ලියන්න දෙවෙනි එකටත්. Can write down the output for the second one. For x in range 5, print x. මේ වගේනේ 0 hello world, 1 hello world, 2 hello world, and so on. Okay, we will fill this first blank, all of you. X is known as x is a variable, right? There's another name for repetitive structure. That name is loop. Loop කියන නම අපි පාවිච්චි කරනවා repetitive structures වලට. Later I will explain why we use the term loop. Therefore, this variable is called looping variable. X is known as the looping variable. So looping variable varies from 0 to 4. 0 to 4. Totally 5 times. 5 කියලා දැම්මොත් 5 times තමයි එන්නේ. X is known as the looping variable. Okay, right. So if you put 2 commands here, if you want to repeat 2 commands, අපි දැන් හිතමු මෙහෙම, I'm going to print x here and another print is here. Okay, now there are 2 commands now. Just look at this. Then x is printed, then the hello world is printed, and it is repeated for 5 times. Okay, x is printed, then hello world is printed, and it is repeated for 5 times. But if you can see that if I did not use a tab here, then you can imagine what happened. So what we have to repeat is followed by a tab. What we have to repeat is just considered as x. Therefore, x is printed 0, 1, 2, 3. After repeating printing x, then after completing that, then go to the print hello world. Okay, right. I think these are clear. හරිනේ, මෙතන out exercise 1 එකේ මෙතන output එක දාගන්න. ඒ ටික ඊට පස්සේ මේකත් දාන්න. X is known as the looping variable. Okay, මේ blanks fill කරගන්න බැරි වෙච්ච කට්ටිය ඉන්නවලු. A repetitive structure is used to repeat. A repetitive structure is used to repeat a set of commands. That is the answer for the first one. Make a repeat. Campus එක repeat කියන එක ටිකක් ජනප්‍රිය මාතෘකාවක්. In the university, when there is an examination, when you get down from the examination, you have to do it again. It is called repeat. Repeat. For any subject, you can attempt 3 times, maximum of 3 times. You cannot do more than that. The subject, let's say computer science, you have to repeat. You can do it 3 times. එකපාර fail වෙලා තව පාරක් කරනකොට අපි කියන්නේ repeat කියලා. The repetitive structures used in Python are for එකයි while එකයි. For එක තමයි අපි මේ දැන් මුලින් කතා කරන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ අපි while එක කතා කරනවා. Okay? Right. Okay. Then I think you have done exercise number 2 also. I will explain about exercise number 2. Before moving to exercise number 2, I am going to explain some other thing. Now you can see that when we use print function, when we use print function, now I am going to print 2 facts now. I am going to print X and I'm going to print hello world, right? So print is printed in one line and the hello world is printed in another line. Okay, so there's a method, there's a parameter called end. You can put way that you want to end this. Look at this. You have to put a string for end. Now I just put a dot. Then we'll see what happened here. Output එක තමයි උඩින් තියෙන්නේ. What happened? X is printed. No, X means that X means 0 in this case. 0 is printed. Okay. Then you can see that a dot is printed. Dot is printed. One dot එකයි තව space එකකුත් තියෙනවා. You can see that. Then X is printed. The dot is printed. Space is printed, and in the same line, the print hello world, then hello world is printed. The default end is, I will explain, the default end is a new line. By default, look at, by default, when we print something, if I ask you to write something, if I ask you to write your name, you will write your name, right? If I instruct you to write your name in your book, you can write your name, Sankamara Singh. Then if I ask you to write your school name, then you can write your school name, Royal College Colombo. But in which line you are going to write it? If I ask to write your name, then I ask you to write your school name. I did not instruct how to do it. But in Python, if I print the name and the school name, by default, the name is printed in one line. After that, we will automatically go to the next line. And in the next line, in the second line, the school name is printed. දැන් මං කිව්වොත් ළමයි ඉස්කෝලේ ලියන්නේ කියලා සමහර වෙලාවට ළමයි එකම පේලිය ලියනත් ඉඩ තියෙනවා. Some of you will write the name and school in the same line or 2 different lines. It depends on you, right? But in Python, when we use a print at once, it will print what you have instructed. Not only that, okay, it will print. Then අපි X print කරන්න කියලා කියනවා 0.5. Then I'm going to instruct write hello world, right? So normally in computer, what happened is after printing something, hello once after printing, it automatically go to a next line and waiting to write the next thing. That is what is happening. Okay. And when once after each print, automatically go to a new line. In other words, the default end, hmm, the default end is a new line. Then බලන්න මේ end එකට new line කියලා දැම්මම ඔයාලට පේනවා it is same as without using anything. The default end is a new line. So you can use a keyword end in order to end with a different pattern. හිතන්න දැන් අපිට මෙහෙම bracket එකක් දාලා space එකක් තියන්න ඕන කියලා. එතකොට 1 0 1 2 3 likewise it will print. දැන් අපි line numbers වගේ print කරන්න ඕන අපිට x plus 1 කියලා දැම්මනම් හරි. Okay. So in this one, okay, now what I'm going to do is look at the screen carefully. Yeah? Now I want to see what happened with in this range function. Now if I print these values now, all of you can see that the 0 1 2 3 4 are the 0 1 2 3 4, these are the values printed. No, so if I put the keyword end equal, let's say space, space, then the x is printed. That means 0 will be in the screen and not going to the next line. Normally going to next line, but now at the end of the value of x there will be space. Okay, likewise, let's say we want to separate these values by commas, then we can put a comma. Okay, let's say you have to show that the addition of these values, you can put the plus. If you want to show that it is the multiplication of these values, you can put a multiplication. Likewise, the way that end can be controlled by using end. The default end is a new line. Okay, so here what happened is just these values are printed one by one, separated by commas. And if I give a initial value here, for example 2 to 5, look at, if I specify 2 to 5, then the starting from 2, you can remember indices that we discussed, string index. By default we can use the slice notation, colon by using colon, that is called slice notation. You can remember we did something like this, 1 colon 5, 2 colon 5, something like that. Then starting from 2 less than 5, no, 2 to 4. So here also the same thing, now the value of x starting with 2, default value is 1. Okay, so 2 to 5. If I put 2 to 15, it will start from 2, and 2 to 15 means 2 to 14, always less than 1 from the second value. Okay, that is the situation. So there's another way we can specify the step size. The default step size is 1. But we can control it. For example, let's say 3, then starting from 2, then step size is 3. Step size is 3 means 3 by 3, 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, likewise. Yeah, I think this code is clear now. Yeah, starting value is 15, starting from 15, then 15 to 31, less than 31, 3 by 3, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. Okay, this range function. In range function, if you specify just one value, what happen is 0 to value less than that one. 5 කියලා දැම්මොත් එන්නේ 4ක් තමයි එන්නේ 0 to 4. If you specify two values, starting value and end value, then in that range. And also you can specify a third parameter and go ahead. Okay, if I use a negative step size, all of you, then nothing will be here. But if I use 30 to 15 minus 3 step size negative, then starting from 30 and step size is negative, no? Therefore decrease in order, previously increase in order, now decrease in order to value greater than 15. 15ට වඩා වැඩි ඒව තමයි එතකොට එන්නේ. ඉස්සෙල්ලා 15ට අඩු වගේ දැන් 15ට වැඩි ඒව තමයි එන්නේ. Okay, I think it is clear for all of you. Right, the range function. Here in the exercise 2, I am going to highlight the range function. Okay, the general format of range function. You have to specify the name is the function, name of the function is range, then start, comma, you have to put n+1. If you want to end at 1, if you want to end at 5, you have to put 6, no, 5, n+1 step size. The default step size is 1. The default starting value is 0. Okay, I think the range function is very clear because it is very similar to the slice notation that we discussed under the strings. Okay, look at the second point. In print function, by default අපි අර කිව්වේ නැතොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? By default new line, by default a new line එකක් නේ. A new line is added to the end of the each line. අපි අරගෙන එක print එකක් කරලා ඊළඟ print එක කරනකොට ඒක ඊළඟ පේලියේ එන්නේ. මොකද අර පළවෙනි එකේ new line එකක් print වෙනවා ඒකයි. Right, it can be controlled by using end parameter. It can be controlled by using end parameter. You can remember separate keyword that we use, separate parameter. When we are printing several values at the same time, we use separation sep keyword. No? Likewise, by using end parameter, it is possible to control. It is possible to control, right? It is possible to control the way that ending. Then in the bottom or the third point is the syntax of for statement. Okay, syntax for syntax of for statement. So always you have to start with the variable, you have to start with the keyword for, then you have to put any variable there. X කියලාම දාන්න ඕනේ, y a b ඕන එකක් දාන්න පුළුවන්. In is a keyword, then you have to put the range function, right? Range function, in the range function you can put the method start n+1 step size, then you have to put the commands. So what happened is the commands within the for statement, is repeated for each value of the looping variable. The commands within the මේක ඇතුලේ තියෙන commands ටික, the commands within the for statement is repeated for each value of the looping variable. Each මේකේ අර looping variable එකට එන අගයන් එනෝනේ. එක value set එකක් එනෝනේ. ඒ range එකේ හැම එකටම මේක repeat වෙනවා. හරි? Okay, I will give you another example here. A different approach. Normally it's a common practice to use range function with normally with the for statement what we use is the range, but there are some other ways I will explain. Look at instead of range you can put a string. For example, Python, you can put a string. Okay, we'll see what happened. And I run this, what has happened. Python is a string. In other words, Python is a range, right? The first value for x is p. Okay, I will use spaces here. Oh, I will use a space for end. Then you can see that the p is printed and a space, then y is printed p, t is printed h. You can the value of the looping variable. For example, we can say letter කියලා දාමු. It's a letter. No? So you can go letter by letter. Letter. Then the letters will be printed one by one. Letter is the looping variable now. Okay. Python කියලා දැම්මොත් එතකොට Python හරි you can put anything that you like. It's my name, so I can go letter by letter in my name. Okay, and there's another way. I will explain. For R in, you can put a square bracket here, and okay, you can put a square bracket here. Then you can put you can put several values. This is called a list, right? Later we are going to learn about list. So I'm going to find the square rn square. So you can see what has happened now. Letters, then r is printed and r square is printed now. The first value for r is 12 and 12 is squared. 5 squared minus 5 minus 23 squared. In that way, in addition to range function, normally you have to use the, right? Okay, can you understand? Instead of using range function, range එක දාන්නත් පුළුවන් for x in range, okay, 5, you can use something like that and print x. Actually, if it is one command, you can put the print function along with the for statement. Okay, මේකෙම දැම්මත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. Okay, you can see the outputs of these three cases. So better to try the for statement with a string as well as a list. List එක ඇතුළට ඔයාලට කැමති ඒවා ටිකක් දාන්න පුළුවන්. You can try it. Later we are going to learn about list separately. At the moment, don't worry about too much about what is this square bracket and all. You can try එකක් දීලා බලන්නකෝ. Most common use of for statement is with the range function, but not only range. You can use a list. Okay. Okay, I think this is clear. Normally we have to use the range function. මේ ඔක්කොම ඒවා වුණත් එක line එකේ දැම්මත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ, because it is only, if it is only one command to repeat, you can put it with the for state line with same line that has the for statement. For කියන line එකේම දාන්න පුළුවන්. Right, we will move into the next one, all of you. In exercise number 3, all of you, in exercise number 3, I have put two different programs, all of you, two different programs to generate the same pattern, same number sequence 15, 18, 21, that one. Okay, calling up 4 x in range 15 to 31, 15 to 31, 3 by 3. In that one, we use the print function, the properties of print function in order, properties of range function, no? The properties of range function in order to generate the number sequence, no? Right? Now it's a, now you can see two other approaches. Okay, two other approaches. Okay, two other approaches, because the 5, 15 can be considered as multiples of 3, no? Okay, 15 is a multiple of 3, no? 15 is a multiple, these are multiples of 3, no? ඒක use කරගෙන මෙහෙම ලියන්නත් පුළුවන්. කොහමද? Y. Now in that one, x in 5 to 11, 5 to 11, 1 by 1, no? 5 to 11, 1 by 1. Okay, so instead of printing x, we have y. Y is 3 times x, then y is printed. ඒ කියන්නේ අර සාධාරණ පදේ වගේ අපි හදාගෙන තියෙනවා. r වෙනි පදේ වගේ නැත්නම් එහෙම සාධාරණ, we have general term is by identifying general term we can do it. So both of them produce the same sequences. Both of them produce the same sequences. You can see that first sequence print in 15, 18, 21 up to 30, and it is also ending with look at this, ending with comma, no? And the second one is there for second for loop, second for statement, start to print 15 from the same line. So I can do something like this. Look at, I'm going to use a print. Okay, the print without having anything. What do you think? What will be the result of this? මොකද හිතන්නේ කට්ටිය? කලින් මෙහෙම print එකක් දැම්මේ නැහැ. What do you expect? එක්කෙනෙක් දාලා තියෙනවා none කියලා. තව එක්කෙනෙක් දාලා තියෙනවා blank line කියලා. තව එක්කෙනෙක් දාලා තියෙනවා space කියලා. තව එක්කෙනෙක් දාලා තියෙනවා new line කියලා. So what the correct answer is, the second loop is starting with a new line. Now the both loops are printing in the same line. So if I use it here, you can see that this is the first sequence. After that, there is a print, no? By default print, even though you did not mention anything to print, the print will print a new line. Because of that, go to the next line, and because of the second print. Okay, so this is another approach, all of you. This is another approach to generate the same number sequence. Another approach to generate the same number sequence, because we can, the 18 is 3 plus 15. Then 18 plus 3 is 21. If you know the previous one, by adding 3 to the previous one, we can generate the new one, right? So initial value is 15. So we are going to print 15. Then we are going to add 3 to 15. Y plus 3 is y. That means we are going to add 3 to 15. Okay, 3 to 15. Therefore, it will now new value of y is 18, and 18 is printed. Okay, so this is the, now the for statement is used to repeat these two lines, and it will repeat for 6 times. මෙතන 6ක් print වෙනවනේ. ඒ 6 ඒකෙදි print කරගන්න එක තමයි වෙන්නේ. Okay, ඒකෙදි වෙනස් approach එකක් තමයි ගිහිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. Okay, I will put another print and do this. So initial value of y is 15 for x in range x in range 6. Here we are going to repeat the code 6 times. Print y, and end with a comma, then y is equal to y plus 3. So this is very important. This exercise number 2, the two different approaches are used. Okay, මෙතනදී මේ වෙන්නේ general approach එක. අර නිකන් අපි ශ්‍රේණියක් වගේ තිබ්බොත් if it is a number sequence, you can write down the number sequence by using the r term. R පාවිච්චි කරලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. Now in for example here ur is 3r, something like that. In this case ur is equal to ur minus 1, previous term ur minus 1 plus 3. This is called recursive approach, and this is called the general approach. Okay, so two different approaches are used. Okay, right. So the loop-in variable, all of you. So loop-in variable is also useful. That is what I want to say. By the range function, we can do the control in and generate the sequence 15, 18, 21 to 30. Okay, then you can use the loop-in variable and you can do certain calculations on the loop-in variable and obtain the required value. Okay, here it's another approach, right? Okay, then we are going to look at the while statement. Okay, all of you look at the screen. You can remember. Now I want to print, all of you, I want to print, okay, I want to print hello world. Hello world. I want to print hello world. Okay, so if I put a command like this, the definitely output is hello world. You can remember the last week we discussed, during the last Python session we discussed if statement. If you have to put a condition, right? For example, x less than 5. We have to specify a value for x. Let's say x is 2. And now the condition is satisfied. Now the condition is satisfied. Therefore, the print hello world, the statement print hello world is selected. If let's say this is 20, now the condition is not satisfied. Therefore, now the condition is not satisfied, all of you. Therefore, it is not executed. The print hello world is not run. Right? Then දෙක හරි එක හරි එහෙම දැම්මොත් condition එක satisfy වෙලා තියෙන එක selected. The while statement is also while. While statement is also very similar to the syntax of the if statement. We'll see if you use while what happen. Can you see something? X is 1 while x less than 5. While x less than 5, now x is less than 5. No? We are going to do this. You can see that this is a repetitive structure. It is repeating forever. In other words, the number of times that is repeated is infinite. I will put the value of x. X එකක් දාන්නම්කෝ. You can see that the x is 1, right? I will do another addition. X equals x plus 1. X equals x plus 1. Now you can see that x is, we are going to change x now. Initially value of x was fixed. Now x is 1, so 1 less than 5, the print x. Then x plus 1 is x, no, therefore x is 2, 3, 4. When it is 5 less than 5 is false, therefore stop the repeating. Okay, අපි අර condition එක අපි හරියට දැම්මේ නැතොත්, let's say x, you can put any value here, right? If you put 500, the program will run from x to x equals 1 to 499. let's say we use a condition like this: x greater than 0, x greater than 0. You can see x is initial value is 1. Okay, you have to put a condition and control and everything. x minus 1 කියලා දැම්ම කියලා. You see, x is 1, then 0, minus 1, x is decreasing, no? And always condition is satisfied. Therefore, an infinite loop is easily created. Okay, all of you, what you have to do is you have to try this program first. Yes, all of you try to do exercise number 4. It is the first program for while statement. හැමෝම එක try එකක් දෙන්න. මමත් එතන code එක ගහපු එකක් තියෙනවා. ඔයාලා බලන්න. Syntax එක තියෙන්නේ while statement එක. You have to draw a flow chart in this space. Okay, while statement එකේ flow chart එක ඇඳ ගන්න ඕන පොඩ්ඩක්. okay මේකේ හතරක් තමයි එන්නේ එකේ ඉඳලා හතරට අපි equal sign එක දැම්මොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ if you use equal sign it will repeat the hello world 5 times okay right all of you so we can explain this program x equals 1 while x less than or equal 5 print hello then x equals x plus 1 by using a flow chart like this okay normally when we draw a flow chart we have to put the start and end usually we use the oval shape actually the next session is about compute algorithm in that one we are going to look at the compute algorithm these notations and all so x equals 5 right this is x equals 5 then there's a decision condition or decision right this can be true or false if it is true this way otherwise that way if you compare the selection structure and repetitive structure in a selection if okay if it is true we are going to do this and what happen next go to the bottom then after completing it we are going to downward direction but here again going to the top and again going to check the same condition මෙහෙම පල්ලෙහාට ඇවිල්ලා පල්ලෙහාට ඇවිල්ලා ආපහු උඩට යනවා okay මෙහෙම පල්ලෙහාට එනවා පල්ලෙහාට ඇවිල්ලා ආපහු උඩට යනවා that's right so they are going downward and මෙතන repeat වෙනවා that's why the term loop කියලා කියන්නේ අපි මේ loop එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ මෙහෙම wire එකක් වගේ අරගෙන මේ තියෙන wire එක මේ විදිහට හදනවා අපි කියන්නේ loop එකක් කියලානේ so complete path that's why the term loop is used okay so better to draw this flow chart in your handout there's a space no under the exercise 4 you can find the space no අර එතන ඉස්සරහින් space එකක් තියෙන එතනින් හැමෝම ඒක දාගන්න you can do various changes and see මේක එක වෙනස් කරලා බලන්න පුළුවන් වෙනස් වෙන හැටි syntax for while statement කියලාත් එතකොට තියෙනවා so if you did not use x equals x plus 1 what happened the value of x is always 1 no? therefore what always 1 is less than 5 always this will repeat this will repeat forever in other words it is called infinite loop it is called infinite loop right මේක ඇඳලා ඉවර කරගන්න flow chart එක ඇඳලා ඉවර කරගන්න then you can try exercise number 5 exercise number 5 is again the print in the same sequence 15 18 21 with while statement earlier we did it by using for statement no now the same thing is handled by using while statement all of you we will fill the blanks we will fill the blanks. මේ code එකත් ගහලා බලන්න. exercise 5 කියලා තියෙන එක. ඒ code එකත් ගහලා බලන්න. blanks ටික fill කරමු ඊට පස්සේ. blanks ටික fill කරන්න බලමු. all of you. A repetitive structure මේක පැහැදිලිනේ. So starting with 15. So first print in 15. Okay, then 15 plus 3 is the new value of x. Still x is less than, now 18, initially 15, then 18 less than 30. Likewise it will continue up to 30. Okay, shall we fill these blanks? මේක ඇඳගත්තේ නැති අය ඉන්නවනම් ඇඳගන්න. flow chart එක ඇඳේ නැති අය ඉන්නවනම් අඳින්න. all of you. A repetitive structure is also known as loops. Repetitive structures වලටම තමයි loops කියලාත් කියන්නේ. loops කියන්නේ අර මෙහෙම රවුමක් වගේනේ. මෙහෙම ඇවිල්ලා රවුමක් වගේනේ හැදෙන්නේ. ඒකේ if you look at the flow of the program, coming down and going again and again like a circle or a loop, and ලනුවකින් වගේ මෙහෙම අපි හදනකොට කියන්නේ loop එකක් කියලානේ. Okay, a complete cycle of a repetitive structure. Complete cycle, එක පාරක් repeat වෙන ඕනේ set එක. That is complete cycle of a repetitive structure. You have heard this term cycle, චක්‍රයක් කියලා කියන්නේ. Normally in physics, engineering, the term cycle is very common. Cycle කියලා කියන්නේ චක්‍රයක් කියලා කියන්නේ. But in for a cycle, the term used in computer science and mathematics is iteration, right? A complete cycle of a repetitive structure is known as an iteration. Okay, the term iteration means it's alternative name for cycle. සිංහලෙන් කියන්නේ iteration කියලාම තමයි. A complete cycle of a repetitive structure is known as an iteration. For example, in this program, all of you, in this program, there are 5 cycles. No? There are 6 cycles. No? Hayak repeat, so we call 6 iterations. Okay, right, 6 iteration. Okay, generally for loop is used when the number of iteration is exactly known. Okay, now we learned that there are two ways. No, there are two ways to implement repetitive structures. No, one is the for statement, other one is the while statement. So what is your choice? If you have to implement a repetitive structure, what is your choice? What is the structure that you are going to select? මේ දෙකේ මොකක්ද හොඳ? This is a loop. Okay. We have two options, for and while. Normally, the for statement is simple. For statement is simple because you have to put within one line you can put all the things, for, variable, in. You can use range function within the range. By using range function, you can put a starting value, end value, everything you can put. And the step size. This is the starting value in the while case. While you have to specify it separately. You have to put the increment or decrement, right? So this is simple. This is little bit complex. Okay. If you have to implement infinite loops, infinite loops, then what is the suitable one? Infinite loops. So for here, normally it is finite. Again, වාර 10කට 20කට ඒ වගේ. But here we can go for infinite, right? Clear? That is another fact. Finite, the number of iterations is finite, infinite. The implementation is simple, complex. What about the controllability? Controllability, which one is easy to control? Implementation is easy here, simple, complex, but controllability, you know that there are vehicles, no? There are vehicles, manual transmission vehicles and auto transmission vehicles. So what do you prefer? What is your choice, whether auto or manual? Normally automatic is easy, normally in day-to-day life, day-to-day life operation, office works and all. The auto here is easy. But if you are going off-road, then you have to have an auto, because in manual transmission, the controllability is high. You can even you can accelerate fast, you can brake the vehicle even without having actual brake. You can use the engine brake by using manual transmission. In manual, the controllability of the vehicle is high. In automatic, we don't have that, right? Likewise, it depends on the choice. No, here also, when it is follow, the controllability is less. But when you use while statement, the controllability is more. You have to do everything. You have to do everything, but you can't control everything. Mm. So actually, this is a for statement is something like tailor-made. So this is a tailor-made loop. This is custom-made loop. Custom-made, tailor-made, custom-made. We can compare these two in several ways. Anyway, both are repetitive structures, right? The both of them can be used for any application. This is better in some cases, and this is better in some cases. That's why we have the both options. Okay. Uh, Okay, look at this point. Generally, for loop is used. Generally, for loop is used. Underline කරගත්තත් කමක් නැහැ. For loop. For loop is used when the number of iterations is known. 5 iterations, 10 iterations, exactly known. Okay. While loop is used when the number of iterations is unknown. So this is the major difference between for statement and while. Better to underline it. For එක දාන්නේ known වෙලාවෙදී සාමාන්‍යයෙන් while එක දාන්නේ unknown වෙලාවෙදී. However, both the statements can be used to implement any repetitive structure with suitable controlling structures. Okay, suitable controlling instructions. Right. Now we have discussed, so we have covered basics of repetitive structures, right? You are in a position to manage for statement as well as while statement. Now we have to look at little bit advanced programs. Okay. So the printing patterns, printing stars is very common examination question, right? Especially in examinations, I have seen the printing patterns. There will be a code is given, then what is the pattern, or pattern is given, what is the code. Likewise, it's very common question, pattern patandare. So if you want to note this down, එකත් පොඩ්ඩක් දාගත්තට කමකුත් නැහැ පැත්තකින්. Implementation is implement මෙතන. එකත් පොඩ්ඩක් පැත්තකින් ලියන්න කමක් නැහැ. Okay, this is the task. කියලා දාමුකෝ. Implementation මේ code එක ලියන්න. Implementation is simple, complex, right? Number of iterations. Number of iterations is finite, infinite. Controllability. Controllability is less, here more. We can say that this is tailor-made. Tailor-made. This is custom-made. You can shirt එකක් කියලා. tailor-made දේව ලේසියිනේ, වැඩි කරදරයක් නැහැ tailor-made එක. tailor-made එක කඩේට ගියා, collar size එක කිව්වා 15මාර 16 කිව්වා, ටක් ගාලා ගත්ත ඇඳා. එච්චරයිනේ නේද? normal office works and all. අපි office යනකොට normally වැඩිපුර ඉතින් tailor-made දේව තමයි ගන්න. But let's say it's a special function, wedding, inauguration, or graduation ceremony, something like that, then we have to go for custom made. When it is custom made, you can select the exact material that you like, exact color size. You are not 15.5 or 16, you want 15.75, you can match it. Because a lot of options available when it is custom made. Right, we will move into the exercise number 6, printing patterns. Wala me mehema karanna.
නිකන් ඉස්සෙල්ලා හිතලා බලන්නකො මොකක් වගේ print වෙයිද කියලා මේ හැම එකටම ඊට පස්සේ කරලා බලන්න. Here I have put 3 programs. Okay. ඉස්සෙල්ලා එකක් කරන්න ඊට පස්සේ එහෙම ඉඩකඩ manage කරගන්න මම මේකට දාලා තියෙන්නේ. හිතලා බලන්න මොන වගේ එකක් එයිද කියලා. හිතලත් බලලා කරලත් බලන්න. patterns ටික print කරලා බලමු. මේක task එක තියෙන්නේ මෙතන. මේක task එක implementation කරනවා කියන්නේ implementation, number of iterations, controllability, made, tailor made, custom made. implement කියලා තියෙන්නේ මෙතන මේ දෙයක් කියවන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා implement. තරු print කරන්න බලමු ඊළඟට. You can remember, hello. Can you remember hello into 3 means hello is concatenated 3 times, no? Hello is added to hello is added to hello, no? Okay. ඒ වගේ එකක් නේ උතන වෙන්නේ. For n in range 1 to 6. එතකොට 1 to 6 කිව්වට එතකොට 1 to 5 තමයි ඇත්තටම values එන්නේ. So we are going to print star. We are going to print a star asterisk කියලා කියන්නේ, and it is multiplied by n. That means initially 1. So therefore initially there will be 1 star. Then next iteration there will be 2 multiplied by 2. No, there will be 2 iterations. 3 iterations, 4 iterations, and 5 iterations. ඊළඟට මොකද වෙන්නේ? ඊළඟ එකේදී code example time දෙනවා මේක එකයි මම දැම්මේ. We are going to it is 6 minus n. 6 minus n. ඒ කියන්නේ මුලින්ම එන්නේ 6 minus 1. 6 minus 5. That means 5 stars will be printed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Decrease in order. Increase in order, decrease in order. මොකද ඊළඟ එකේදී වෙන්නේ? තුන්වෙනි එකේ 4 n in range 1 to 6. we are going to print a space. Okay, and the number of spaces printed is 5 minus n. End with nothing. කියන්නේ ඒ පේලියම තමයි ඊළඟ එකත් print වෙන්නේ. Okay, then print n into n. So initially we have 5 minus 1, 4 spaces and a star and 1 star. And for in the first print, end is empty. That means in the same line, the second print is also used. So we are going to print 4 spaces and a star. Then go to the next line. Then 3 spaces and a star. Likewise. Star into it. Okay. It's also triangle, but its alignment is different. මෙතන spaces 4ක් print වෙනවා. Spaces 4යි, then spaces 3යි. ඔකම number of characters is always 5. මෙතන 5 minus n plus n. The number of characters printed is 5. Number of characters printed is 5. Right? Is it clear, all of you? Then we will move into example 7. ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න. අන්තිම එකේ දැන් මෙහෙමනේ වෙන්නේ. අන්තිම එකේ ආපහු බලන්න පැහැදිලි නැති අය ඉන්නෝ නම් spaces 4ක් print වෙනවා. පළවෙනි පාර වෙන්නේ spaces 4යි. ඒතර end empty නේ. ඒතර ඒ පේලියම තරුවක් print වෙනවා. spaces 4යි තරුවකුයි. ඊළඟ පාර යනකොට ඊළඟ iteration එකේදී n වල value එක 2යිනේ. ඒතර spaces 3යි තරු 2යි. එහෙම spaces ගාන ටික ටික අඩු වෙනවා. තරු ගාන ටික ටික වැඩි වෙනවා. වැඩිපුර තරු පේන්න ගන්න. හරි. හොඳයිනේ. මෙතන space මෙතන තියෙන empty string end is equal to empty string. Here one space. මේක print දෙකක් දාන්න නැතුව කරන්නත් පුළුවන් මෙහෙම. If you want to do the last one without using two prints, without using two prints, you can do something like this. එකම එකේ දානවා නම් ක්‍රම ගොඩක් තියෙනවා කරන්න පුළුවන්. We are going to print 4 n spaces. Okay, then but we have to put that separate is empty. Normally when we are printing a and a comma b, this is something like a comma b, no? When you print in a comma b, automatically space is added, no? Automatically separated by space, no? So it can be controlled like this. Okay? අර end එක අයින් කරලා ඒ කියන්නේ එක print එකකට දාන්නත් පුළුවන් මේ විදිහට. Then you have to separate these two values by a space, by empty string. Separation එක empty කරන්න ඕන. I think it is clear, right? Definitely in your examination, you have to expect that kind of question. Huh? Right, we will move into exercise number 7. It's also simple program that we have. Yes, we'll do it. Sum of 5 numbers. All of you try this program. Okay, we'll see exercise number 7. මොනවා හරි එකක් තේරුම් නැති වුණාට ගණන් ගන්නත් එපා. ඊළඟට යන්න එකමයි. That's natural in natural languages, no? So same in Python also, right? කට්ටිය කියන ඒවා අපිට කොච්චර තේරෙන්නේ නැතිව තියෙනවද අපි ගණන් ගන්නවද නේද? කැම්පස් එකේ ලෙක්චර් එකකට ගිහින් බලන්නකො කොච්චර තේරෙන්නේ නැතිව තියෙනවද එහෙම කියලා කැම්පස් එක අතහැරලා එන්නේ නැහැ. Okay, so here there's a variable called total. So initial value of the total is 0. Then for n in range 5, there is an input. X is an input. So total plus that input is the total. It will repeat for 5 times. So what we can do, you can add 5 numbers. So this is very common program when you have to add several values. So you have to set the initial value to 0. Let's say you have a basket. Then you are going to collect some. Let's say there are 5 mango trees in your garden. In the morning, you are going to collect mangoes. So initially, the total means initially basket is empty. Empty basket. Then you are going to the first mango tree and collect them. Let's say 5. Then that what happened is 0 plus 5 is 0 plus 5 is the total now. Total is 5. No? That means 0 plus 5 is 5. That is the total. Then you are going to the next mango tree. Then you can find 3 mangoes. Then the total is 5 plus 3. So 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 is the new total. Something like that. Okay, I think exercise 5 is clear for all. It is very common program. Okay, it is very common program. I think it is understandable for you. ඒ කියන්නේ initially 0 ඊට පස්සේ 0 වලට එකක් add මොකක් හරි එකක් add වෙනවා, තව add වෙනවා, මේ විදිහට යන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, all of you. Look at the screen for a moment. Now this is the code. So when we run this, it says please enter a number. Please enter a number. Okay, let's say 12. The second one is also 12. Okay, again 12, 12, 12. So I have entered 12 5 times. So 12 into 5 is 60. Therefore total is okay. If I put it here, what happened? If I put this print function here, what happened? Enter a number. Let's say 5. Then at that moment it will print sum is 5. තේරෙනවනේ එහෙම වුණොත් එනද අපිට ඕන ඒක අන්තිමටනේ. Okay, then enter another number 4. ඒතර හැමතිස්සෙම එනවා. ඒ වෙලාවේදී current total එක බලා ගන්නත් පුළුවන්. So you must put this at the beginning, nah? You must put total equals 0 at the beginning. Otherwise, if you put a different value, then your calculation will be wrong. ඕන මෙහෙමත් අපිට මේක මෙන්න මේ වගේ ලියන්නත් පුළුවන්. බලන්න මෙහෙම තේරෙනවද කියලා. enter number. Okay, enter number x plus 1. Okay, enter number x plus 1. එහෙම දාන්නත් පුළුවන් ඕන. ඒතර x මෙතන n enter okay, later I will explain that. Right, then we will move into exercise number 8. Exercise number 8. Actually, it is not a difficult program. It is one of the previous program. You can remember we wrote a program to check whether given integer is odd or even. Odd even. This is also same program. It is put into a for loop. No? Therefore, that our program run for 5 times. That's the only thing. So 4 is a repetitive structure. Within the 4 structure, we have put another structure, selection structure. Within one structure, it is possible to put another structure. Okay, you can remember last time also we did this kind of program. Within if statement, we put another if statement. Likewise, within a for statement, now we have put another if statement. We'll see it, we'll try it. Exercise 8 එකට යන් හැමෝම. ඔයාලා ගොඩක් වෙලාවට Python දැන් එන්න ළමයි ටික ටික ඉගෙන ගන්නවා Python. ඉස්සර තමයි අපිට හැමදේම කියලා දෙන්න ඕනේ. මොකද දැන් ඕන තරම් resources තියෙනවා. YouTube ඒ වගේ ඒවායින් ගොඩක් ලාට ඉන්න ගමන් ඔයාලා ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ. ඒකින්ද ගොඩක්ම කියලා දෙන්න අවශ්‍යත් නැහැ. කියන්නේ අපි මම ඉස්සරම කියලා දෙන්නේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට fundamental. දැන් මම ටික ටික අර lecture එකේ කියලා දෙන ඒවා ටික ටික advance කරන එක අතරම මමත් කරන්නේ. Okay, now this program will run for 5 times. Enter an integer 12. It says 12 is an even number. 13 is an odd number. 15 odd. 1 odd. 6 even. Likewise, it will run 5 times. So this is called nesting. One structure within another structure, you have to use proper tabs and all. ඒ ටික පොඩ්ඩක් කියලා දෙන්න තමයි මම මේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක ගත්තේ. W3 schools කියලා තියෙන ඒකෙත් Python tutorials දැන් තියෙනවා. ඉස්සර නම් තිබ්බේ නැහැ. දැන් තියෙනවා. ඒකත් මම දැක්ක කැම්පස් එකෙත් recommend කරලා තිබ්බ W3 schools එක. ඔයාලට ඒක use කරන්න පුළුවන්. මමත් HTML ඉගෙන ගත්තේ ඉස්සර W3 schools වලින්. Python මම ඉගෙන ගන්න කාලේ W3 schools තිබ්බේ නැහැ. ඔයාලට පුළුවන් ඒ W3 schools.com කියලා තියෙන ඒ සයිට් එකේ තියෙනවා quizzes අනම්මනම් තියෙනවා. හොඳයි ඒක. W3 schools. Advertisement යනවා පොඩ්ඩක් එච්චරයි අවුලකට තියෙන්නේ. Okay, nesting. All of you. Then we will move into loop within a loop. It is also kind of nesting. Earlier, if statement within for statement. In other words, a selection structure within a repetitive structure. Here I have put a repetitive structure within another repetitive structure. My program දෙකක් දාලා තියෙනවා. පළවෙනි part එක ඉස්සෙල්ලා ලියන්නකෝ. For x in range, for y in range. ඒක බලමුකෝ. A repetitive structure within a repetitive structure. For x in range 5, for y in range 3. Print x, y and separate. බලන්න හිතා ගන්න පුළුවන්ද මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා? X is 0 no. When x is 0, y is varying from 0 to 0. බලන්න මේක තේරෙනවද කියලා? X is initially 0, y is 0. So 0 0 is printed. They are separated by commas. Within 0 0 print වෙනවා. They are separated by commas. And ending with a tab. Ending with a tab. Ending with a tab. That's why you have tab here. Okay, then tab back up fine. Then go to the next one. Next value of y. Now y is 0, then y is 1. මේක අයිති වෙන්නේ LE එකටනේ. This for statement is within the x statement. Within there are two loops, outer loop and inner loop. බලන්න මේකේ ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන අය ඉන්නවනම් there are two loops here. Outer loop is controlled by x and the inner loop is controlled by y, right? So when we initially we come to the outer loop, no, and the value of x equals 0. In that case, we are going to do, we have to do two tasks. One is run this for statement and also run this print statement. When we run the for statement with variable y, it will repeat for 3 times. For y equals 0, y equals 1 and y equals 2. Each case xy is printed and a tab is printed. Xy is printed, tab is printed, xy is printed and a tab is printed. මේ තව tab එකකුත් print වෙලා තියෙන්නේ පේන්නේ නැති වුණාට. So after completing for statement, we have a print statement. We have a print statement without printing anything. That means printing a new line, right? Then we go to the next line. මෙතන මේ පළවෙනි line එක ඉවර වෙලා ඊළඟ පේලියට යන්න තමයි මේ print y එක පාවිච්චි වෙන්නේ. And it will repeat again and again for value of x is 0, 1, 2, 3. එහෙම 4 වෙනකන් යනවා. Okay? බලන්න එක පැහැදිලි නැත්තම් කියන්න මම පැහැදිලි කරන්නම්. මම ආපහු පොඩ්ඩක් ඒක explain කරන්නම්. ඒ කියන්නේ මේකේ මෙහෙමයි සමහර ළමයිට පුළුවන් මේක සමහර කට්ටියට පැහැදිලි නෑ එහෙමයි ඒක වෙන්නේ. සමහර කට්ටිය programs ගොඩක් ඉස්සරහට ලියලා ඉන්නවා මේ ඒ වගේ එහෙම තියෙනවනේ. ඒකින්ද හැමෝටම වැඩේ පුළුවන් වෙන්නනේ අපි මේක කරන්නේ. ඒකින්ද මම පොඩ්ඩක් පැහැදිලි කරන්න පුළුවන් අය ගණන් ගන්න ඕනේ නෑ. මේක සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේ exercise 9 එකට කලින් තිබ්බ එක මම අයින් කළා. දැන් මේ වෙන එකකුත් දැම්මා. ඒක කලින් තිබ්බ එක ඊට වැඩි ටිකක් අමාරුයි explain කරන්න. කමන්නේ දැන් මේකත් ටිකක් අමාරුයි වගේ බලන්න මම ලියන්නම්කෝ බෝඩ් එකේ ලියලා කරන් පස්සේ ඒක පැහැදිලි වෙනවා අවශ්‍යයි විතරක් බලන්න එක ඒවත් ටිකක් O level වගේ තමයි මෙහෙම තිබ්බට හරි for x in range 5 නේ for y in range 3 මෙතන තියෙනවා print xy end වෙන්නේ tab එකෙන් separate වෙන්නේ tab separate වෙන්නේ comma එකෙන් හරි print empty කියලා තමයි තියෙන්නේ බලන්නකෝ දැන් මුලින්ම x වලට එන value එක 0 නේ මුලින්ම x වලට එන value එක 0 තර x වල value එක 0 වෙලාවේදී when the value of x is 0 we have to do two things because both of these commands are under the first for statement we have to do this as well as this in this one it's another for statement so initial value is 0 so within this one we have to print x and y so we are going to print x and also y they are separated by comma no therefore මේ දෙකම print වෙනවා separated by a comma and this line is ending with a tab this line is ending with a tab මේ වගේ tab එකකින් තමයි end වෙන්නේ not with a new line if you did not use this go to the next line no ending with a tab right and this will repeat no now this is 1 and do the same thing print the value of x the value of y and a tab again this will be 2 and print x of x y and a tab okay මේක 2 වෙනකන් යන්නේ මේක හැමතිස්සෙම යන්නේ 0 1 2 මේක 0 1 2 4 වෙනකන් යනවා then go to this line when we got this line it's a empty print no that means go to the next line okay that means after printing these y values after printing these y values or this ordered pairs then we are going to next line this one is used to move in between lines okay y is the position y is the value within the row x is the number of rows ඊට පස්සේ මෙතෙන්ට ගියාම අපහු මේක 1 වෙනවා 1 0 අපහු 1 1 1 2 එහෙම එනවා ආයි ඊළඟ line එකට යනවා මේක පාවිච්චි කරලා hope that it is clear is it clear all of you හරි නේද තේරුණානේ so there is another program similar program that is digital electronic circuit that we discussed so I have put the code to run that program for all the possible cases of the variable abc බලන්න එකක් කරලා abc තුනටම අදත් අපිට break එකක් ගන්න ඕන වෙන එකක් නැහැ we have to only discuss 4 more programs so we will continue without a break because in exercise 14 independent challenges you have to do as a homework initially there's a print so we are going to print a b c as well as z separated by a tab a in range b in range 2 a වලට එන්නේ 0.1
B වලට එන්නේ 0.1යි C වලට එන්නේ 0.1යි. So ABC කියන්නේ boolean values of ABC. Normally capital ABC will be 0, 1, 0 and 1 no? But we are going to convert it into boolean values. Okay, we are going to convert them into boolean values. Okay, ABC initially false 0 0 0 no, false false false, then Z is true. So we have constructed a truth table. It's a construction of a truth table by considering all the here the nesting depth is 3. There are 3 for loops, no? Nesting depth is 3. Okay. I will put a separate sheet to submit the quiz. That means it's quiz number 7. Independent challenges question is also included into that quiz. Exercise 14 එකේ තියෙන ඒවා එක තමයි මම quiz එක දාන්නේ. හරි. අර ඊයේ සතියවල තිබ්බේ ඒ වගේ 6 එක වගේ එකක්ම තමයි 7 එකත්. Okay, then there's a multiplication table. Truth table එක වගේ multiplication table එකක් තියෙනවා. බලන්නකෝ ඒකත් කරන්න. You can continue, right? Exercise 10 and 11. I have to little bit explain 12. Okay, multiplication table එක එච්චර අමාරු නෑනේ.
ඒ විදිහට 11 වෙනි එකත් කරන්න කියලා තමයි මම හිතන්නේ තියෙන්නේ. Okay, we are going to print uh, always we are going to print 5 space and multiplication, 5 space multiplication. Then we are going to print x. X is fair in 1 2 3 4 up to 12. X is 1 to 12. Then there's a tab. Tab is used for proper alignment. නැත්තම් ඔව 2 digits ආව ගමන් අවුල් යනවනේ. Tab. Then put 5 into x. 5 into x. Okay. There's a function called bin. Bin is used to convert to binary. I think you can remember bin. Then oct is a function used to generate octal number, right? Similarly, by using hex function, it is possible to obtain a hexadecimal of a number. You can to use these functions in order to generate the integers in different number systems from 0 to 20. Bin, oct, hex කියලා තියෙන functions ඒව use කරලා තමයි ලියන්න වෙන්නේ 11 වෙනි එක ලියනකොට. With the complete of this one, the practical number 7, we can say that we are in the ordinary level of Python, right? We have to go to advanced level and university level. Practical 7 is an ordinary level 1 or level 1. Zero to 20, no? 0 to 20. So 21 කියලා දැම්ම නම් හරිනේ. So we have to print x binary, x as a binary number, x as a hexadecimal number, as well as octal number. Okay, so better to separate them by tabs. I think sep කියලා දාලා tab එකක් දැම්ම නම් හරි. Tab. වගේ generate කරගන්න පුළුවන් නේ tab දැම්ම නම් එතකොට අර එක alignments හදාගන්න පුළුවන්. Actually, I have selected all these examples very carefully according to my experience, according to my learning experience, self-learning experience, as well as teaching experience. By considering all these factors, I have very carefully selected these examples and put them into the tutorial, right? Absolute beginners, right? Such that an absolute beginners can understand all the concepts very well from the beginning to advanced level, to university level. Okay, I think exercise 10 and 11 are not difficult exercises. They are manageable. I want to specially discuss uh, exercise 12, which is the break and continue statements. Actually, there's a separate practical for practical number 10. If you look at practical number 10, the practical number 10 is especially allocated for break and continue. So today's break and continue discussion may not be clear sometimes, but I am going to, for the completeness, I am going to introduce break and continue. I'm going to explain the break and continue in detail, under the practical number 11. Okay, all of you, uh, you know, the simple meaning of break means stop. The break is a keyword. Okay, look at the screen, all of you. Break is a keyword. By using break statement, it is possible to break. By using continue statement, it is possible to continue. So this is the difference between break and continue. Break, continue. So both break and continue, are special cases with repetitive structures. These break and continue that I'm going to introduce today are only applicable with repetitive structures. Look at. I will explain it in a different way. For letter in Python, look at print letter. Okay, so you can see what will be the output of this program. This will print Python one by one. Okay, now I'm going to put something like this. If letter is equal to h, I'm going to use break. Break means stop. I am going to break. If the letter is break, if the letter is h, if the letter is equal to h, then only break statement is run. When the break statement is run, suddenly the repetitive structure is break. We are going to repeat no fan එකක් වගේ එකක් මේ කැරකැවි තියෙනවා. So when it is break statement, what happen is the repetitive structures suddenly break, suddenly stop. So normally the break statement is used within a normally it is used within a for loop or while loop. I mean repetitive structure. Okay, and we have to use it with a condition, definitely with if statement. With if statement we have to use it. Okay, that is the break statement. Okay, then if we use continue here, look at, instead of break, if we use continue, statement, see what happened. P is printed, Y is printed, T is printed, H. When it is H is not printed. That is because of continue statement. Okay, when we use continue statement, what happened is, when it is a break, we are going to break now, we are going to stop now. When it is continue, we are going to stop the current iteration. Okay, current iteration is stop. That is what is happening. Then current letter is h, no? So we without printing h, continue rest of the iterations without completing the current iteration. Without completing the current iteration. Can you understand? Without completing the current iteration, go to the next iteration. In the break, all the iterations are break. In continue, the current one is break. Only the current iteration is break, right? I will in this one, it is while true, no? While true means this is an infinite loop. Can you understand? This is an infinite loop. Like an infinite loop. It's a loop forever, right? But when x is greater than 30, break. When x is greater than 30, break. That means, look at, that means 15, then 18, likewise this is 15, 18, evident. But when x is 30, stop. Here the value of x is varying from 15 to 13 one by one, but there's a continuous statement. Continuous statement means x remainder of x divided by 3 is not non-zero, means continue, right? In other words, factors of if it is a factor of 3, if it is not a factor, then continuous statement. That means uh, those x values are skipped. So better to try these two programs first. මේක ඉස්සෙල්ලා try කරලා බලන්නකෝ, ඊට පස්සේ අරකට යන්න. මේක ක්‍රම දෙකටම try කරලා බලන්නකෝ හැමෝම. continue break දාලා ඊට පස්සේ අරකට කරලා බලන්න. එතකොට ඔයාලට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම තේරෙවි. පොඩි වෙලාවක් අරන් කරන්න බලන්න. First try this letters example, then try exercise number 12 numbers වලින් තියෙන එක try කරන්න. මේ දෙක කරලා තව පොඩි වෙලාවක් අරගෙන අපි වැඩ ඉවර කරලා දාමු. So better to try these two codes as well as the exercise number 12. ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න. එතකොට අපිට explain කරන්න පුළුවන්. අපි separate කියන එක කලින් දවසක කරානේ මතකයිනේ. separate එකකින් වෙන්නේ එකපාර කීපයක් print කරනකොට ඒක separate කරන එකනේ. Okay, I'm going to explain the example in the tutor. While true means the true means logic values, no. Now the condition is true. Condition is true means it is an infinite loop. This loop will run forever. If කියන එක තිබ්බේ නැත්නම්, if this is not available, all of you, if this is not available, this will run forever. You can see that it's an infinite loop, no. Condition is true, condition is true, condition is satisfied. Okay, දිගටම යනවා. So by using if x is greater than 30 break, you can use it in a new line or in the same line. Then the break is run. When x is greater than 30, the break statement is run. Break statement is run. Therefore, suddenly repetitive structures break. Okay, I will explain the continue statement also. Continue එකේ මොකක්ද අපි දාලා තිබ්බේ range. All of you look at the screen. Now x is varying from 0 to x is varying from 15 to 30, no. Okay, එක තියෙනවා මේ edit එකේ, in edit you have to select several lines. You have to select several lines. In edit there is a tab called menu item called format, and format there's something called what is it, comment out region. short name is alter 3, right? Then the both lines are considered as comments, right? Now you can see that according to the last part of the program, so when we run this program, what happened is all the integers are printed from 15 to 30 because step size is 1. But with this command uncomment region, right, we have used continue. Continue is used when the remainder is non-zero. Remainder divided by 3, remainder not equals means non-zero. Non-zero. For example, in the case of 15, the remainder is 0, right? In the case of 16, remainder is non-zero. Therefore, continue statement is run. Continue statement is run means the 16 is not printed. 16, 17 are omitted. Again, in 18, 18 is remainder of 18 divided by 3 is 0. Therefore, continue is not run. Therefore, this print is run. You can see 18 there. Okay. Anyway, if the break and continue are not clear, then don't worry. Okay. Don't worry because I will explain it in a different situation. Right. The last one is the complete menu driven program. You can remember we developed a program with two inputs A, B. Then select, this is the menu, select one of these items, then select operations and so on. But that program ran only one time. Most of you ask me, so how to repeat this program and so on. So now we have repeating option. So what I did was I put our program within a while statement. අර කලින් එකම while එකක් ඇතුළට දැම්මා. while එකක් ඇතුළට දැම්මා 1 2 3 4 5 කියලා items දැම්මා. If x is 1, a plus b, a minus b, a plus b. Likewise, I add additional item. Today I add additional item number 5 to exit. Number 5 to exit. Number 5, when it is 5, what happened? The break statement is run. The break statement is run means the infinite loop is stopped. If anything else says invalid input. මේක තේරෙනව නේද කට්ටියට? කෝඩ් එක දාලා පෙන්නන්න ඕනේ නැති වෙන්නේ. copy paste කරන් පස්සේ මේවා ටිකක් අඩුවෙන් එන්නේ ඒකයි. new line එක එන්නේ. word document එක තියෙනවා. Look at this. Enter A. මෙතන තියෙන එකනේ enter A. මතකනේ? 12 enter B 5 දෙකනේ අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් enter කරන්නේ. Then select the operation, right? If I enter 1, addition. But now the program is not exist because it is within the infinite loop. Normally all the programs are like that. All the programs are run forever until we close the program, right? Enter A. 12 6 enter operation. Different operation subtraction. Likewise, so when I select, if I want to exit, I have to press 5. When I press 5, what happened is break statement is run. Therefore, exit from the program. Okay. So you have to try it. Definitely, you have to put the both break and continue within repetitive structures, either for loop, for while loop, and also you have to use if or some other condition in order to control the continue or break. නිකම්ම දැම්මොත් හැමතිස්සෙම break වෙනවා නැත්නම් හැමතිස්සෙම continue වෙනවනේ. You have to conditionally use the break and continue statements. Okay. So there are several additional questions that I have put under the exercise 14 independent challenges, so you can go through them. And also you can I will set a quiz and upload, so you can do the quiz. So next time we are going to look at the computer algorithms are flow charts, pseudo codes, eva api ඊළඟ දවසේ බලන්න යනවා. Okay, now we have learned basics we have learned basic coding. That means you have basic skills. Now we have to learn the technology. Always there is a technology or theory, no? කියන්නේ අපි දැන් අතහුරු කරන්න වගේ තමයි කරලා තියෙන්නේ. Now we have to learn techniques. For example, now you are a carpenter. නිකන් දැන් අර බාස් කෙනෙක් වගේ තමයි දැන් ඉන්නේ. and ඔයාලට එතකොට අපි technical skills ටිකක් දුන්නාන් පස්සේ තව හොඳට බාස් වැඩේ කරන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, ඒ වගේ you may be an artist, right? You can do artists and all, painting and all, but with more technical things or more theories, you can be a good artist, something like that. Okay, so next time we are going to look at the move into the theories. Okay, bye, see you, stay safe.